And WDSU News at 6 starts with some breaking news.
Yeah, the mother of Brian Vasquez, the boy who was found dead in a lagoon in New Orleans East, has made her first appearance in court today. A judge listed out Hilda Vasquez's charges related to the death of her son as efforts surfaced to keep her separated from her other children back at home. We have team coverage for you tonight surrounding the investigation and what happened in court tonight.
WDSU's Jasmine Franklin joins us live with the very latest updates from court and when Hilda Vasquez is now set to make another appearance. Jasmine.
Tonight, Hilda Vasquez was emotional as she appeared in court for the first time since her arrest. She faces 2 charges related to her son's death. Inside the courtroom, Hilda stood before the judge alongside a translator as she does not speak English. Hilda began crying as the judge listed her negligent homicide and second-degree cruelty to a juvenile charges. NOPD detective Mario Bravo also inside the courtroom. Now, he is the lead detective on this case and also the one who issued a search warrant for Hilda's phone. Hilda told the judge she plans on hiring her own attorney instead of a court-ordered public defender. The judge requested protective orders for all of her other children. She is ordered to have no contact with her 3 children while she is in custody. Hilda, at this point, began crying again as the judge announced this new order. Now, she does post bail once her bond is set. She cannot be within 600 feet of her children. The judge ordered her to enroll in a domestic abuse program by December. Hilda Vasquez is set to appear in court again this Friday. We'll continue to bring you new updates as this tragic case continues to develop. Reporting in New Orleans, I'm Jasmine Franklin, WDSU News.
This comes as we're learning more details about the claims made against the mom by apparently that landed her behind bars.
Yeah, 12-year-old Brian Vasquez apparently got out of their home last month, missing for hours, and was later found in the lagoon. The coroner says he was attacked by alligators and drowned.
WDSU reporter Shay O'Connor looks into the charges that Hilda Vasquez is facing and if they could stick in a courtroom. Shay?
Travers and Sella, I did speak with several different attorneys just about those charges and how much time potentially Hilda Vasquez could be facing. Negligent homicide and second-degree cruelty to a juvenile.
Honestly, I think the state's strongest case is that second-degree cruelty to a juvenile, because she has such an extensive record with DCFS.
To charge her, in my opinion, is just NOPD's smoke and mirror game.
Attorneys weighing in on the charges and fate of 34-year-old Hilda Vasquez. The mom had been charged and convicted before in 2013, related to the boy suffering major brain injuries due to abuse when he was only 3 months old. Attorney Tanya Fayez says negligent homicide might be harder to prove.
I don't think I've ever seen an indirect negligent homicide case, meaning not from an accident or a fight.
The NOPD listed several reasons why they had cause to arrest, including Vasquez's alleged failure to make appropriate steps in securing her home, knowing Brian's history of getting out of the house, and the number of hours it reportedly took Vasquez to learn and notify them that her son was missing. Brian had allegedly gotten out of the house at least twice in the weeks before his August 14th disappearance that resulted in death.
So we think that all of these come together to show that there is what we would call criminal negligence.
Special needs children do wonder.
Attorney Paul Fleming says he also has a child that has special needs. He feels differently about the charges.
I think to charge this lady is an overreaction. They're not turning over records, public records to you. They're not, and they've arrested her for this. It's at least a 5-hour delay in them responding.
Now, I did reach out to NOPD about those 911 calls. They could better give a timeline on their response regarding the situation. Also, I should note that the GoFundMe account in Brian Vasquez's name has now reached over $15,000. I did also reach out to GoFundMe officials on this, and if people have been asking for refunds given the recent arrest of Brian's mom, of course, we're going to continue to keep you updated on this. Reporting live from NOPD headquarters, Shay O'Connor, WDSU News.
Well, to catch up on the latest into this investigation and to learn any updates into the mother's court proceedings, just head to WDSU.com.